Last March, I genuinely didn't know how much longer I could keep doing this with endometriosis. I was just trying to make it through the next 24 hours, the amount of pain I was in. I had been to the ER twice in 1 month. I felt like a complete burden to my husband. And every time I tried to push through, trying to work out, trying to do daily life activities, just trying to exist, my body pushed back even harder. So one night, I made a decision. Instead of fighting my body, I was going to study it. Part 1, the night it changed. It was late. I was sitting out on my deck. I had so much pain. I went outside to smoke my CBD. I just could not sleep. And I remember sitting on my deck. I looked up and I asked God, I said, how am I supposed to figure out what to do with this body that when I wake up, it's different every single day? How am I supposed to work out? Try to feel like me again. Try to make a difference in this world. I've been trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life forever. How am I supposed to be a good wife, be a good doggo mom, and deal with all of this? And I decided that night to stop trying to win against my body and just pay attention to it instead, like a little scientist. This is my notebook from that season. And what I figured out in the months after this is what this whole video is about. Part 2, the truth that nobody says. Now, before I get into the steps, I want to say something kind of real and honest. Endometriosis is not a one fixed situation. As you know, endo varies from woman to woman. It's not one supplement, one diet, one workout plan, and you're fixed. My first surgery was in 2023, and I've had endo forever. And 2025 was the first year that I actually started to feel like myself again. So if you just got diagnosed or you feel really overwhelmed, you're not behind. You're exactly where I was. Part 3, what actually changed first? The biggest shift for me did not start with food and supplements, even though they helped for sure. It started when I stopped doing the one thing making everything worse. I stopped pushing through. I'd walk into my gym already bracing for pain, telling myself, girl, this is probably going to hurt. Get ready for it. And big surprise, it always did. So I decided to change one small thing. I told myself, working out is going to feel good today. And if something really starts to hurt, I stop. Full stop. Now, that sounds small. It was not so small. At first, I felt really weak doing it. I could literally hear like the imaginary gym crowd in my head telling me like, you're weak, you're always going to be weak, you're never going to look good again, you'll always be hiding from mirrors and hiding from pictures. But the thing is, I was already hiding from mirrors. I hated my reflection. So that voice wasn't protecting me. It was just piling the crap on. When I stopped punishing my body and actually started listening to it, something shifted. Not overnight, but my flares stopped spiraling in the same way and losing control. My workouts actually started to improve and I felt calmer. That was literally the beginning of everything. Part 4, the little scientist method. Here's the thing I come back to more than anything. Stop chasing solutions just for a second, okay? And just start to observe your body. I started paying attention to my whole day. You know, how I woke up, how I was feeling when I woke up too. What did I eat? How was my stress level that day? My pain patterns, my sleep, how I was talking to myself. Not to judge any of it, just to start noticing. This is where I started to write things down. No fancy app, no system. I just love pencil and notebook. And slowly, I started to notice patterns. I started seeing what was making things worse and what was quietly making little things better. Part 5, the question that changed my days. Once I started observing, I needed a way to actually use what I was noticing. So I built myself a morning checklist. Super simple, every morning or whenever I remembered, honestly. I asked myself one question. Could I realistically walk to the mailbox right now the way I was feeling? Could I realistically take a full body shower, wash the hair, shave the legs, you know, the whole shebang? Could I get up, walk to the fridge, and make myself a meal? Not could I push through these pains, but could I realistically do it right now with the pain level I was at or with my energy level that I had? Based on my honest answer, I knew what kind of day I was actually in. Not the day I wanted, but the day my body was giving me. And I stopped trying to override it. The full version of how I categorize those days is in my free guide. I linked it down below in the description. But those questions, that simple question, that's literally where it all starts. And remember, be honest. Not guilty, just honest, just observing what your body's actually telling you. Because for the longest time, I just muted all symptoms, so I had to actually relearn what my symptoms were. Part 6, the routine I built from scratch. During my hardest season of March, I basically built myself a daily rhythm. And I want to be honest, it's embarrassingly simple. Yes, I was home completely at this time because we closed our business. So the simple routine was wake up, hydrate, just like it says here, sit in the sun just for a few minutes or as long as I wanted to make my body feel good. I had a high protein breakfast, rest anytime that I needed to, guilt free, play with my dogs, walk if my body was up for it, or do some light yoga, light stretching. And then I'd shower, light a candle, wear my favorite comfy clothes, and I'd have an early bedtime, even though nobody was like necessarily waiting for me to be in bed at those times. Hospitality life, you know. Nothing fancy, no expensive supplements, just rhythm, because chronic illness steals your rhythm. And getting even a tiny piece of it back changes everything. Part 7, 3 places I'd tell you where to start. Okay, if you're completely overwhelmed right now, here's where I'd point you. Number 1, find a real endometriosis specialist, not somebody who just has that title, not just a regular gyno. Nancy's Nook on Facebook is a great place to start your research. Number 2, start noticing your patterns. Pain, food, stress, sleep, any movements that you're doing. Even just the notes app on your phone. I love pen and paper. It always calms me down. The goal is just to start seeing connections. Number 3, simplify everything. Pick one thing to change, just one, and then observe what happens. Because I would pick 5 things to work on, and then I wouldn't know out of the 5 things what was helping me, what was hurting me. Part 8, the thing that surprised me most. One thing I didn't expect on this journey was how much my emotions were affecting my pain. I was constantly in this low-level brace position, telling myself the pain was coming at some point. And I was always waiting for things to start hurting. When I started talking to myself internally differently, things shifted in ways I genuinely didn't expect them to. That piece honestly could be its whole own video. Actually, it probably will be. I made a simple guide that walks through the exact starting steps I used when I was at my lowest. It's not overwhelming, it's not a supplement list. It's just a place to begin with the actual system I built. It's totally free. It's linked in the description below. And if you're in that dark season right now where I was last year, just don't abandon yourself tonight. Tomorrow, just know you can wake up and you can start being a little scientist too.